Hey, what's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for a another hard rock and heavy metal update. This one's going to be a little different in that today I stopped into one of the stores that I check usually about once a week, once every couple weeks. Every once in a while I find one or two good albums there. But today I walked into a major score at that store, and I'll get into it. There's a bunch of stuff. I had actually told a couple people I'd be doing a Kiss update today, but after finding this stuff, I had to do a video and show what I found. Just some cool stuff. I haven't even listened to it yet. I will say everything here is in VG Plus or better condition. Most of it's actually in near mint to mint minus. And then there's some really good stuff that I found that I'm still kind of amazed by. So the store I went to is a Second and Charles. It's not my favorite store, but it's kind of like a half-price books kind of place, I guess. A little more expensive than half-price books, but they sell used vinyl, used comics, used books. They also sell a little bit of new vinyl as well. But most of it's usually pretty picked through. I just happened to get there right when they opened today, which is, I'm sure, why I found what I did. Before we get started in the background, we're listening to Living Sacrifice. This is Reborn. Living Sacrifice is a Christian metal band that's gone through various styles over the course of their career. This album's from '97, I think. Yeah, '97. Living Sacrifice, or this particular album, I would bet money on it that they were listening to a lot of Korn and Sepultura at the time. The drums and bass line, not so much in this song, but like the next song, remind me a lot of early Korn, their self-titled album. The vocals, the guitar, and just the overall sound reminds me of Chaos era Sepultura, even a little bit into the more groove metal sound that you got from Roots. So, killer album. I highly recommend it. It's really hard to classify it. Like I said, it's got those new element sounds. It's got some 90s thrash elements to it. There's also quite a bit of groove metal in there as well. So it's just a pretty good mix of genres. Killer album though, again, Living Sacrifice, Reborn. And then, this is one of the albums that I picked up today. I paid $2 for this. This kind of blew me away. I've been looking at this set for years. I wanted to buy this probably a good 20 years or so, easily. I've almost bought this like probably 24 times. And this is the first time I've seen it in this format. But this is a Pandora's Box. Every time I've seen it, it's always been in the long box. And it's funny, I just looked at it a couple weeks ago and came close to buying it and didn't. And I found this sealed copy today for $5. So that's it for the CDs. Let's go ahead and jump into the vinyl that I found, man. And like I said, it was just a killer find. A couple of these I paid this first one I paid like probably $1 too much, but whatever. Most of this stuff I got for amazing prices. But first up is the reason for the season. 12-inch from Stryper, and it's got Reason for the Season and Winter Wonderland on it. Let's see where I'm missing these. Also found a really nice copy of the Yellow and Black Attack. And like I said, the vinyl on almost all of these is near mint. A couple of them have some light scuffs and stuff, but there were none that I can remember that were damaged at all. Next up is In God We Trust from Stryper. Now, all these albums that I'm going to show, this wasn't all of it. I left about a dozen, maybe 15 albums behind, and they were albums that I either had or just weren't in condition that made them worth buying. There were only one or two that weren't in good condition. Most of it was just stuff that I already had. And I considered buying a couple of them, but when I added up the price of everything, I didn't really have the money to buy those extras because I was going to buy them as VCLT or maybe trade material. This is an album I've been looking for forever in good condition. This is the last of the early Styx albums that I was missing. Styx 2. I've talked about this before. If you haven't heard early Styx, their first 4 albums, go out and buy them right now. Really good 70s hard rock. By far my favorite. It's the their first 4 were on Wooden Nickel. So if you see any of the Wooden Nickel albums, I would pick them up. This one I had never heard of. I've never heard of this band. I really like the album cover, and decided I would check it out. This is Shock Paris. It was $4. See the band in the background there on Auburn Records. So I look forward to checking that one out. This is another one I've been looking for quite a while in good condition, and the vinyl on this one's in mint condition. This is the Rats EP, and this is on Time Coast Records. So this is a really cool find. It was $4. Like the vinyl in this one's pretty much mint. These next two aren't hard rock or heavy metal, but I couldn't pass up on them. Molly Hatchet, No Guts, No Glory. This is one of their few early albums that I was missing. So it was real nice to find this. And this thing is pretty much near mint. And then also Freedom of Choice from Devo. I'm not a huge Devo fan, but there's 3 or 4 songs on all of their albums that I really like. And this just happened to be one of the albums that I was missing. Next up was Built to Destroy from MSG, the Michael Schenker group, as well as Assault Attack from MSG. Next up, Alcatraz, No Parole from Rock and Roll Live Sentence. This is 84. I haven't heard this one, so... Oops. Along with the Alcatraz was Trilogy from Yngwie Malmsteen. I've never been a huge fan of the instrumental guitarists, Yngwie, Steve Vai, Satriani. I've never been a huge fan of just that style, that virtuoso guitar music. I do like some of the stuff Marty Friedman put out, but I'm just a Marty Friedman fan. But I decided to pick this. This probably is most popular, so it was only a few bucks, so I grabbed it, figured I would check it out. I've never actually listened to it. Love Drive, Scorpions, the uncensored cover there. And then also for $4 was the non-band cover, I guess, of Virgin Killer. I actually have another copy of this one, but this is one for $4 I wasn't going to pass up on. This is another band that I wasn't familiar with, but figured I would check it out. Looked it up. It's a hard rock band, so Dirty Tricks, Hit and Run. This is from 1977 on Polydor. Figured I would check it out. This is a very cool find. I'm a big fan of this band. This is by far probably the cheesiest heavy metal band of all time, but it's so cheesy that they're awesome. Thor, Only the Strong, and you can see the band back there, and Thor himself. And this is cool. This is the they did a limited pressing on translucent red vinyl, which, you know, now, you know, the clear vinyl, the translucent vinyl is pretty much commonplace. 1984, 85, when it was 85, You just didn't see it that much. So this one really surprised me. Delirious Nomad from Armored Saint, mint condition. Next up, we've got Y&T, Open Fire Live. And here's another one I had never seen before. I didn't even look this one up. Is it Relativity? Yeah, it's on Relativity. This is 82. Talus. Sink your teeth into that. I just kind of dug the album cover and the rear art, so I decided to check them out. I honestly didn't even know Relativity was around in 82. That kind of surprises me. Oh well. Talus. So now it's the big stuff. I was completely blown away to find this stuff, and I had to pull my phone out to look this stuff up to make sure that I was seeing what I thought, or that I had what I thought I had. But before I get to those three, this is one of those records that you just can't beat this. This is the UK version of No Remorse from Motorhead on the leather edition. It's a double best of, but it's also got a couple of new songs, as well as it's just a killer double album. I mean, so many good songs. It's also got a couple songs with Girls' School, if I remember correctly, a couple songs with Wendy O. Williams, and then a couple of new songs as well. But I mean, it was very cool for its time. You know, 1984. I don't know how well you can see it. It's actually a leather sleeve, though. Overall, it's in really good condition now. A little bit of tear right there, and a little bit of a tear on the front. But other than that, it's in immaculate condition. The vinyl's probably VG Plus. Very cool though. And 15 bucks. I mean, I've seen this thing go for 40, 50 bucks. And now for the stuff that really blew me away. This first one was huge. I just don't think they knew what they had because of the recent reissues that have come out. Especially with this one, because the reissue looks almost exactly the same. And the number is exactly the same. But this is a first pressing. This is a first pressing of the Opiate EP from Tool. And I don't know if you can see the price, it's $8. This thing goes for $50, $60 all day long. Oh, by the way, sealed. And I had to do, I bought it for $8 because I didn't care if it turned out to be the repress, which I was pretty sure it wasn't. I was cool with that for $8. But the one major way to tell the difference is the parental advisory on the bottom. So the original pressings, it's a sticker. And you can feel that here. Whereas the repress, which I have one here, the repress is it's all actually printed onto the sleeve. Also, whoever did this, the repressing many years later, I think it was 2007 when the repressing came out, they did a photocopy of the original jacket. And I don't know if you can see the differences, how super light and clean this is compared to how dark the repress is. And you can really see it on the back. It's a really clear image here, whereas here it's kind of dark and muddy. And it's the same thing with the actual press, or the information. If you can see, this is really crisp and clear. All the words and the barcode and everything. Whereas with the repress, it's all really muddy and just real blurry. But to run across a sealed copy of that, I mean, I'm still just utterly blown away that I found that, and that I found it for $8. So, I mean, that's just a killer find right there. And that would have made my day by itself. But it gets better. This is a 1996 repress, I believe, of Tool's Opiate. Again, this thing goes for 50, 60 bucks all day long. Oh, by the way, sealed. Completely blown away. 15 bucks. And then the last one, the one that really just blew my mind, was this last one. Still can't believe this one. This is a first pressing 1999 Slipknot. If you can see right there, it's on the limited edition slime green vinyl. Again, this thing goes for 50, 60 bucks all day long. And I haven't even seen what it goes for sealed. That's what I see it going for, just in good condition, you know. I mean, I'm just blown away by the stuff that I found today. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And you know, I promised a couple people that I would do the Kiss update. So let me show that real quick. I'm just going to fly through these. So it was posted all over the boards the other day that half-price book, now I got half-price books in my head, that Urban Outfitters was having a clearance sale on all their Kiss vinyl, and they had a bunch of the albums for $15, including Alive and Alive 2, which unfortunately, and Destroyer, which were all unfortunately sold out before I got on there. But I bought 3 or 4 of the albums from them. Actually, I think I bought 5 of them from them. And then I went on to Amazon to look for something else. And Amazon was had reduced the price on a bunch of their Kiss, all the 2014 represses as well. So they were selling a bunch of them for anywhere from $18 to $22. So I picked up a few more just because I couldn't pass up on the deal. So I picked up a copy of Hot in the Shade. Now, I had to send a copy back. This is one thing I love about buying from Amazon. So I opened it. The packaging was nice on it. There was nothing wrong with it, but I opened it, and there was a bunch of little scratches on it. I don't know if it was a pressing issue or whatever it was. But I just sent a little message to Amazon. They're like, send it back. We'll send you a new copy. And they did. And then I also got a copy of Asylum, and I do have a problem with that one. All of the other albums were nicely individually wrapped in these little deals right here, except for Asylum, which was just thrown loose in there, and the corner was all bad. So I sent them a message, sent that one back. They sent me another copy, same exact thing. So I'm going to give them one more chance. Hopefully they can work out whatever that issue was. But but I did get a copy of Asylum too that I have to send back. Kiss Destroyer. I've already got a couple copies of this one. This and this and Hotter Than Hell are actually my 2 favorite Kiss albums. And I'm not the kind of guy, you know, I'm not like John where I want to have every single copy of every album. But I really wanted some super nice copies of these too. One thing I love about these represses that I didn't mention before, so all the represses come with whatever the original label was for the first US pressing, which is cool. But what's really cool about them is they don't do like other companies. For instance, that Tool album I showed earlier, where the old the first pressing and then the repress from 20 years later look exactly the same. You can't really tell the difference between the two. Same labels, everything. Well, Kiss put the same label, but if you look down here, it says 2014, so you know it's a repress. You're not going to have to worry about somebody trying to scam you into thinking you're buying an original, you know, 1970 whatever pressing, and you're really getting the 2014 repress. Now, obviously, these are thicker than the other ones, so if you know better, you're going to know anyway, but that's just something I hate when they don't mark that it's a repress in some way, let you know, you know. But like I said, Destroyer, Hotter Than Hell. So I picked this one up mainly because my copy of Unmasked is just completely trash. This is actually my least favorite of all the Kiss albums. I just didn't have a good copy of it, and my copy didn't have the poster, whereas this one does. I just forgot to show this in one of my last videos. This is not my favorite Kiss album by any means. It's probably in my top 3 or 4 least favorite, but I think it's still a good album. Kiss Monster. Save that one. Kiss Dressed to Kill. I didn't have a good listening copy of this. The only copy of Dressed to Kill I have is in my originals collection, and I don't want to pull that one out and play it all the time, so I wanted a nice player copy of Dressed to Kill. Also picked up Revenge, which is one that I was missing. This is also up there with some of my favorite Kiss albums. Now this one kind of really took me by surprise. This is Kiss Carnival of Souls. Again, this is the first official pressing on vinyl of this. I remember when this came out, I was thinking about getting it. And it may have been when the bootlegs were floating around. I can't remember. But I remember hearing about it. And I was originally going to get it. And then I heard that they were kind of replicating the Alice in Chains sound. So I decided not to buy it. I'm a huge Alice in Chains fan. They're one of my all-time favorite bands. And I didn't want to hear some bands trying to replicate Alice in Chains, so I didn't get it. I picked this one up. I think it was $18.99. You know, it's going for 35 bucks everywhere else, so I couldn't pass up on that. So I ordered it. I was really surprised with how much I like it. You definitely hear those Alice in Chains elements, and you know, and it was produced by Alice in Chains producer, so that doesn't surprise me. However, they're not trying to replicate Alice in Chains. They're definitely influenced by that, but they definitely add that Kiss touch to it. It still sounds like Kiss. It just sounds like Kiss experimenting, you know. There's also a little bit of Soundgarden in there, a little bit of Paul Stanley's vocals. Sound more like the style of vocals that Chris Cornell would sing. But I was really impressed, and I really do like this album, Carnival of Souls. And then last but not least, I've wanted this one on vinyl for a long time. I love this album. I don't think it gets enough credit, and I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that its 2 predecessors are amazing. But Kiss Alive 3, it sounds great. Having the songs from Creatures of the Night and you know, just the later era Kiss, the 80s era Kiss on live is just amazing. I mean, this is just a killer album. And I gotta really give it to Kiss for these represses. A lot of bands have been putting out represses lately that have just sounded like shit. I just recently bought Caress of Steel from Rush. Sounds horrible. And it's not the production. The production is nice. The pressing quality is just terrible. A lot of noise. There's pops. It just sounds horrible. And I haven't had any issues. All of the Kiss represses sound beautiful. And I highly recommend picking up any of them. I mean, they really do sound amazing. But that's it, VC. I know it was kind of a lot, but I had to share the finds for today. I'm still blown away. That's easily, $300, $350 worth of albums there. And I played considerably less than that, way less than that for that entire stack. So just some amazing finds today. And then, I had been promising for a while to show that the KISS update. So there it is, VC. I hope you liked the video. Take care.